The true gem of the Wii library has finally arrived. Super Mario freaking Galaxy. If you're like me, you've been playing Mario games since you were very young, and the mere mention of a next-generation Mario is enough to make you fidget in your own chair. Especially after Super Mario Sunshine. In recent conferences, Nintendo sort of swept that one under the rug and said, hey, we finally have a successor to Super Mario 64. I, on the other hand, didn't have a problem with Super Mario Sunshine. Just the commercials.
Cause clean is better than dirty, and dirty's meaner than clean. It's all in to help.
Now that Mario's cleaned up Isle Delfino, it's time to explore the galaxy.
Super Mario Galaxy!
Wow. I wonder just how far Charles Martinet had to jam his thumb up his ass to produce a sound like that.
If it hasn't already been pointed out to you, take a look at the logo for this game. Specifically, the placement of the sparkles. It spells out, you're Mr. Gay. Why am I pointing this out? I don't know, it was funny for about 10 seconds.
When you start up a new game, you get to choose which face you want to represent your save file. So naturally, I chose Princess Peach. Get back in the kitchen and make me a pizza!
Aw, Princess Peach, I'm kidding. You know I love you.
Spoiler alert! Bowser captures Peach in this game. You know, if there's ever a true Nintendo-made Mario platformer where Bowser did not capture Peach, I'd probably piss myself, so, no need to change the plot. This time around, he abducts the entire castle with a flying saucer that has gigantic titties. Mario tries to follow, but he gets blown away. OMG hotness, there's another princess figure in this game. Her name's Rosalina, and she's gonna help you save Princess Peach, but only because her ass is on the line too. I bet you're all wondering, do I think Rosalina's hotter than Peach? The answer is a straight up no. She's flat-chested and has an emo haircut. That sort of thing doesn't tickle my fancy. Now you gotta go around to a bunch of different galaxies to collect stars that'll power Rosalina's space station, which you're looking at right now, and take you to the center of the universe or wherever Princess Peach is being held. This is also Rosalina's home, so I'm gonna check out the bedroom. Gross. Does she ever clean her sheets? Look at the dust that's accumulated on it. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Even though the game is cartoony, the graphics are visually stunning, especially since this is on the Wii. A Wii is more powerful than an Xbox, but not that you notice with all the other titles coming out on this system. Bump mapping. I'm looking at glorious bump mapping. I believe that it was not only Nintendo's intention to create a great-looking game, but also to give a good stiff collective smack on the back of third-party developers' heads and say, hey, quit slacking off.
At first look, you'd think that Nintendo put some intense physics into this game, but it's easy. To calculate gravitational force, you just multiply the mass of two objects divided by the distance between them, which is very similar to Coulomb's law. Perv nerd, kinematics, flux, relativity, universal theory. I might have aced physics. That doesn't mean I want to think about it.
All the music in Super Mario Galaxy was composed by the Super Mario Galaxy Orchestra. They've created some instant classics, but you can bet Mario's Italian mustache that they're going to reuse some music from old Mario games. Of course they've included the generic and underworld music from the original Super Mario Bros. They'd be marginally insane if they didn't. Also, there's the battleship and regular level music from Super Mario Bros. 3. If you hear the latter theme, prepare to be frustrated. I also welcomed a theme from Super Mario 64. You know, the one when you're trying to avoid traps on your way to Bowser. Speaking of which, fighting Bowser is truly epic now. The music makes me feel like I'm fighting Ganondorf. Reusing Mario music is just a Mario tradition. Mario 1 music was reused in Mario 3. One game's music that never seems to get remade is Super Mario Bros. 2, and that's because, as we all know by now, Super Mario Bros. 2 was not Super Mario Bros. 2, it was Doki Doki Panic, and was probably the first occurrence of what we now know today as the Mario Money Turd Smear, so please, all you Nintendo haters, shut the hell up! To regain health, you collect coins. You probably could have guessed that. And you can't go underwater then come right back up to regain health. Believe me, I've tried. Your life bar has 3 units, which is pretty shocking when you remember that the last games gave you 6. Now, I wouldn't be so upset about this if it wasn't for the fact that the game will not remember how many lives you have across saves. What is this, Super Mario World? I know the Wii's internal flash memory is small, but sheesh, I worked hard for those lives. I want to keep them. On the same subject as memory, Why is it that the Wii can run Super Mario Galaxy at 480p, but when I try to go to Pandora Internet Radio, it gives me this out-of-memory error? Just curious. To beat the game, you only have to have 60 out of 120 stars. And I must say, the quest to those 60 stars is the most fun I've had on the Wii. It's mainly because of the level design. Instead of landing in some huge, sprawling world and trying to go find a boss, you play a lot of point A to point B levels, which might sound like a complaint, but it's not. Remember, that's what classic Mario was. As for those other 60 stars, my goodness, you have got to be motivated if you want to get those stars. Nothing in Super Mario 64 or Sunshine was this difficult.
Nintendo, you better remove this ball from future Mario games. I'm serious. It is so freaking stressful. For the audience, let me explain how this goes. You hold the Wiimote like it's a joystick, or if you're a Wii developer, like a joystick. You tilt the Wiimote in different directions to make the ball move, but it's so sensitive and you're so prone to overcorrection that you end up doing this. Okay, that's enough. I've done that joke like 3 different times.
I had a hard time enjoying these parts, but if you liked them, hey, I ain't knocking that. You probably have a masochistic personality. You probably enjoy dropping hammers on your toes. You probably like crappy movies like State of Angels. It takes all types of people to make this world go round. Flying Mario equals fail. It's not so bad when gravity's constantly pointing down, but trying to navigate around a small planet is more frustrating than the last level of Zack and Wiki. Otherwise,
this is another example of great controls because they don't overdo it. Most of the motion tracking controlling is this, which makes Mario spin. So, the majority of the game I played like this. Why? Because I can.
ignoring the flying and the rolling of the ball, the controls are perfect, which is just proved by the fact that I can do something in this game that I can't do in any other game. Wall jump. And if you think I'm retarded because I can't wall jump in certain games, yeah. Have you ever played Super Metroid?
Okay, Samus. We're gonna wall jump. Don't make this complicated. Ah!
Okay, where was I? Hey, that looks familiar.
Whoa, wait a minute. Flood?
I am Flood, a flash liquidizer ultra dousing device.
This is my magic brush. A strange old man in a white coat gave it to me.
A strange old man.
Man in a white coat. Professor Egad. Okay, review being paused for a moment. This is something that perplexed me during the GameCube era. He gave Luigi the Game Boy Hornet and Poltergeist 3000 in the game Luigi's Mansion. But in Super Mario Sunshine, he may have made Flood, but he gave Bowser Jr. that brush. What, are you good or are you bad? I've seen him in one other game, Mario and Luigi the Superstar Saga, and in that they're just like, oh wow, he runs a coffee shop. No. If I was Mario, I'd be beating his face in. What is wrong with you? You gave Bowser Jr. something that screwed up my vacation. What, are you retarded? Okay, game review resume.
Super Mario Sunshine might have got a bad rap, but it's not a terrible game. In fact, it's one of the best games on the GameCube, only being rivaled by Metroid, Zelda, and Resident Evil 4. Super Mario Galaxy is the best game on the Wii, only being rivaled by Metroid, Zelda, and Resident Evil 4. But what's next? Super Mario Universe? No, it's gotta be bigger. Super Mario Megaverse, or Ultraverse. And if that were to happen, I'm pretty sure we'd be staring at your Mr. Les. The end. This has been Storm for Wii TV.